Hello everybody, today back in another video. Alright, my tennis friends are on the roll. Today's video is going to be about a topic, a question that I have had a couple of months ago, maybe 1 year, I don't know, I don't remember exactly. But I wanted to do a video. This will not be super long. I wanted to come out there and give a prediction. My tennis friends are on the world. It is prediction time, baby. It is prediction time. And this prediction is about, this is a huge prediction. This is a big call. This is not an easy one to call, but I will do it. I will take my teeth into this topic. I will take my teeth into this question, and I will give my prediction. And then let's see in the future if I will be right or if I will be wrong. And the title to this video is exactly what it's saying on the video, is who will have a better career, Jannik Sinner or Carlos Alcaraz, and why? Yeah, that is the huge question here. Because these two players are in the beginning of their careers. They are not super old. Carlos Alcaraz is born in 2003. Jannik Sinner is born in 2001. So Jannik Sinner is only 2 years older than Carlos Alcaraz. And when it's all said and done, who will finish as the better player and with more success in their career? All right, let's get into this video without any further ado. My feeling about this is that Jannik Sinner is the more consistent player than Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner has less flaws during his matches, during his season. He is not many players who can touch him. It's not many players who can come close to him. It's not many players who can upset him. Those players are much less than the cases with Carlos. Carlos can be more upset than Sinner. Carlos can lose against lower ranked players than Sinner. But when it comes to who has the higher ceiling, it is Carlos Alcaraz who is that player. When it comes to who is that player with the big match, who is the more big match player from these two, I believe it is Carlos Alcaraz. When it comes to who has the highest level, I believe it is Carlos Alcaraz. But I believe that Carlos will lose more matches than Sinner. But when it comes to, so I think that Jannik Sinner will be a player like Federer. He will win more titles than Carlos Alcaraz, Sinner. Like Federer has done more than Djokovic. Federer has 103 titles. I'm really doubtful. I don't think Djokovic will come up to 103 titles. I believe Djokovic will win his 100th title at some point during his career. I've done a prediction about that. I did it a couple of weeks ago when I said that Djokovic will win his 100th title this year. I believe that he will do that at Monte Carlo, which I was completely wrong. But I believe that he will do that at some point in this 2025 season. Djokovic, he will win his 100th title. I don't think he will do that in a major or in a master, but he will do that in a smaller event. But I don't think Djokovic will make it to 103 titles. Maybe I will be wrong, 103, or maybe not far away, but at this age, in this super age, this late in Novak's career, when he's 38 years old, 3-4 titles can be far away. Anyway, so Federer has 103 titles, all right? Djokovic has 99 titles at the current moment while I'm recording this video. But when it comes to big titles, Djokovic is much better than Federer there. Djokovic has 72 big titles. Federer has 54 big titles. Djokovic has 18 more big titles than Roger Federer. I think we'll have the same kind of scenario between Sinner and Alcaraz. I think Sinner will win more tournaments during their careers than Alcaraz when it's said and done. But when it comes to who will win more big titles, I think Alcaraz will be that player. Exactly like is the case between Djokovic and Federer. Nadal has 59 titles, so Djokovic has 13 more titles. 59 big titles, I mean Nadal, not all titles. Nadal has 92 all titles in his career, but when it comes to big titles, Nadal has 59 big titles. Djokovic has 72, so Djokovic has 13 more big titles than Nadal as well. So So I think that the same scenario will happen with Sinner and Alcaraz, where Alcaraz will be the player who will win more big titles than Sinner. That is my feeling. And Sinner will win more titles overall than Alcaraz, because he's more consistent than Alcaraz. And I believe also Sinner also is more healthy than Alcaraz. Not that Sinner is a super healthy player, super healthy player. He has some injury as well, here and there, but Alcaraz is a more injury-prone of player than Sinner, according to me. So, but when it comes, it is two advantage I give Alcaraz more than Sinner. All right, are you hearing me now? First of all, I will make a big prediction here now. Right here. I believe that Alcaraz will win between 3 to 7 French Opens during his career. Between 3 to 7. He maybe even can win 10 French Opens. But I'm doubtful in his health. So I'm not super confident in him being super healthy when he will be over 30 years old. I really am not, because he's already is having a lot of injuries despite being this young. He's only 22 years old. But between 3 and 7 French Opens, I believe Alcaraz will win. The same thing I believe at Wimbledon. I believe Alcaraz will win between 3 to 7 Wimbledons. Maybe even more. He has already, for God's sakes, won 2. No, I will say more. I believe Alcaraz will win between 5 to 10 Wimbledons. I believe Alcaraz's biggest Grand Slam tournaments are at French Open and at Wimbledon. He excels as most in those 2 Grand Slams. Not exactly. I wanted to say something, but it was wrong. So it is there he will have his biggest success, at French Open and at Wimbledon. Between 3 to 7 French Opens, I think Alcaraz will win. He has already won 1 French Open, and I think he will win it this year as well, 2025. And at Wimbledon, he will win between 5 to 10 Wimbledons, Alcaraz. I would not be shocked at all if Alcaraz equals Federer's 8 Wimbledon titles and even surpasses Federer's 8 Wimbledon titles. He excels on these 2 tournaments. He's as best in these 2 tournaments, French Open and Wimbledon. Just imagine Alcaraz is 22 years old. He has already won 2 Wimbledons back to back, 2023 and 2024. Already he's a 2 times Wimbledon champion. All right. When it comes to Sinner, he will excel as most on the hard court Grand Slams, Australian Open and US Open. He has already won 2 Australian Opens and he has won 1 US Open. All right. Which is not a surprise. Sinner's best surface is hard court. But I don't believe that Sinner will be as successful on those 2 Grand Slams, Australian Open and US Open, like Alcaraz will be at French Open and Wimbledon. Reason why? I believe that on those hard court Grand Slams, Australian Open and US Open, it is a bigger competition. Players are more specialists on hard courts. Players in general play tennis mostly on hard courts. If you are not from Spain or if you're not from South America, all right? Maybe from Spain and South America, they play more clay court tennis than what they do hard court tennis. But in the rest of all other places in the world, players play mostly tennis, or at least majority of his tennis on hard courts, and that will make a player like Sinner have harder times to dominate those 2 Grand Slams, Australian Open and US Open, like Alcaraz will dominate the French Open and Wimbledon. How many specialists we have on grass? Not many. We have more specialists on clay than we have on grass, but even there, Alcaraz will have easier times. It's not that it will be easy, absolutely not, but he will have less competition, less threats on clay and hard court and grass compared with Sinner on those 2 Grand Slam hard courts, Australian Open and US Open. So that's why I don't think Sinner will win between 3 to 7 Australian Opens. Yeah, he can win. I believe not between 3 to 7. I think Sinner will win between 3 to 5 Australian Opens. My feeling is that he's already won 2 Australian Open, for God's sakes. So between 3 to 5 Australian Opens, and I think Sinner will win between 3 to 5. Between 3 to 5 US Opens. Okay, it is difficult predicting this. This is so difficult. You're saying which kind of a challenge I'm putting myself in. Anyway, I believe that Sinner will win multiple Australian Opens, which he has already done 2, and he will win multiple US Opens. All right, and he will win Wimbledon also at some point in his career. Sinner. I'm not so sure about Sinner winning his many French Opens. I'm not even sure if he'll win one ever in his career. I think Sinner's hardest Grand Slam to win will be French Open, exactly like the case was with Federer. Sinner and Federer have similar paths in their careers. I don't want to go to too many details. They're both little late bloomer, like Federer also was. He was not super young. He was not old, Federer, when he won his first ever Grand Slam title. He was 21 years, almost 22. But you're getting my point. He was not as young as Nadal and Djokovic and Alcaraz. Sinner has same kind of path like Federer. And Sinner, exactly like Federer, also will have his most difficult Grand Slam to win. I believe it will be French Open. Alcaraz's most difficult Grand Slam to win, I believe it will be Australian Open. But I believe that Alcaraz at some point will win Australian Open. I'm pretty confident that Alcaraz will not go his entire career without never winning the Australian Open. I'm not as confident in Sinner that Sinner will ever win the French Open. I think that he will win at least one French Open, Sinner. He's too good of a player to never do it. But I am more confident in Alcaraz winning his first ever Australian Open than I am confident in Sinner winning his first ever French Open. So, Sinner will win, say, between 3 to 5, but say between 3 to 6 Australian Opens, all right? I will say that. And say Sinner will win between 3 to 6 US Opens, all right? And I believe Sinner will not win Wimbledon as many times as he will win Australian Open and US Open, so I believe Sinner will win maybe 1 or 2 Wimbledon. I don't think Sinner will win more than so. And maybe Sinner will win 1 French Open, maybe during his career. So yeah, there you have. In general, Sinner will land between 13 to 15 Grand Slam titles, I believe. I don't think Sinner will win more than 13 to 15 more Grand Slam titles. I don't think so. And not because of the level, but because of he also is an injury-prone of a player. Not in the same amount and not in the same extent like Alcaraz, but he also is not super healthy. He isn't. So I believe Sinner will end his career between 13 to 15 Grand Slam titles. All right? Alcaraz, on the other hand, I believe will win more than 15 Grand Slam titles. I don't believe Alcaraz will win 20 plus Grand Slam titles just because of his injury prone. He's more injured than Sinner, but I believe he will excel on the bigger tournaments in the Grand Slams. Like I said, I believe he will win French Open between 3 to 7 times. Say he will win between 5 to 7, not 3. I believe he will win French Open for sure more than 3 times. 5 to 7. I believe Alcaraz will win the French Open, 5 to 7. And I believe Alcaraz will win between 5 to 7 Wimbledons as well. So there we have 14, say 14 titles. He has already 4. I believe Alcaraz will win at some point Australian Open. So Alcaraz will win between 17 to 19 Grand Slams. All right? Sinner between 13 to 15. If they should somehow keep themselves healthy, both of them, they have a career where they are healthy. They don't have many injuries, especially they don't have injuries during the Grand Slams. And then I believe that both of them will win between both of them will come up to 20 plus Grand Slam titles, especially if we don't get another player who disturbs them and who threats them, like the case was with the big 3, where 3 players was fighting against each other, Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic, to win the biggest tournament. At the current moment, these two are the top Schiffer rivals in tennis. These two are the top alpha hanas in tennis, and they will share the amount of the Grand Slams. I have predicted already that this year, 2025, Sinner and Alcaraz will win all 4 majors. I don't know how but most likely, I believe Alcaraz will win the French Open and Wimbledon, and then Sinner will win the US Open. Alcaraz and Sinner has already won the Australian Open. So this kind of a scenario, I believe we will see in the upcoming years. Of course, it will come a time where some other dude will win 1 major in a year, and neither of Alcaraz or Sinner will win that major, and they will not be able to win all 4 majors together. But if they maintain healthy, which is easier said than done, because both of these two players are injury prone, especially Alcaraz, these two will dominate the tour in the many years ahead of us. And that's why it is, if they maintain healthy, I truly believe that both of them will come win 20 plus Grand Slam titles, both of them. Because if the big 3 could do that, Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer, win 20 plus Grand Slam titles when it was 3 players who was fighting against each other about the biggest tennis tournaments in the world. If 3 of them could manage to do that unbelievable achievement, the likelihood for 2 players to do that is more higher. Because then they don't have a third man in the occasion here. They don't have the third man in the field here, where a third player threats them and takes them out in the biggest Grand Slam tournaments. So that's why I believe that if the biggest question mark for me when it comes to these two for not winning 20 plus Grand Slam titles is their health. It is not their level of tennis, because their level of tennis is super, super high. These two have saved tennis, according to me. I didn't believe that when the big 3 will retire, we will see superstars instantly, immediately after they retired, but we have done that. Alcaraz and Sinner they are superstars. They are the alpha hanas of tennis. They will dominate the tennis many years ahead of them if they maintain healthy. But to maintain healthy is easier said than done, because already they are super young. They are already injury, and they already have injuries here and there. So my concern is that they will not be able to keep themselves healthy enough to come up to 20 plus Grand Slam titles. So that's why I predict that Sinner will finish his career between 13 to 15 Grand Slam titles, and Alcaraz will finish his career between 16 to 19 Grand Slam titles. And also, I believe Alcaraz will win more Masters than Sinner. Alcaraz already has 7 Masters, and Sinner have 4 Masters. So when the clay court season will be around, in the clay court season we have 3 Masters: Monte Carlo, Madrid, and Rome. Alcaraz will take and will put his teeth in many of these 3 Master 1000 tournaments. Yeah, of course, Sinner has his bunch of Master 1000 tournaments on hard courts. But like I said earlier in the video, on hard court, the competition is tougher, the competition is stiffer, so it will be much harder for Sinner to dominate on hard courts than what the case will be for Alcaraz to dominate on clay and grass. And that's why I believe, in the end of the day, when it is said and done, 10, 15 years from now, I believe that Alcaraz will be the player who will have a better career than Jannik Sinner. But Sinner, with more big titles than Sinner. But Sinner will be the player who will win more titles than Alcaraz. Like Federer have more titles than Djokovic at the current moment. Let's see if Djokovic can surpass Federer's 103 titles overall. I don't think he will, but maybe Djokovic will prove me wrong. So Sinner will win more titles than Alcaraz. overall, but Alcaraz will win more big titles than Sinner overall. And when it is all said and done, what do we watch? What do we value? We value the player who has won more big titles, and that's why I believe Alcaraz will end his career better than Jannik Sinner. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace!